We address all of you, understanding that there are significant challenges in the households of our community. In the 10-county area that Feeding Tampa Bay serves, some 500,000 folks as of Saturday are without an essential element to their household budget. SNAP is a really important program that has created stability and capability in households where there are challenges of income and other expenses. When something like this happens, it puts extraordinary pressure on our neighbors, it puts extraordinary pressure on our community and organizations like Feeding Tampa Bay. For every one meal that we can provide, SNAP provides 9. And I think it's important that we level set that SNAP, 70% of SNAP goes to children, to seniors, and folks who are disabled. Everybody in our community is important, and everybody deserves the dignity of a healthy meal on a table. Our organization will do whatever we can to step into a crisis of this nature. We'll work as hard as we can and as long as we can to make sure that everybody is okay. But we'd like to remind everybody that it takes all of us doing our jobs and making sure that we live into our responsibilities. So we'd ask whoever wants to get involved, and whoever can make decisions, make decisions. So with that, I would like to introduce a terrific friend of our organization and a terrific leader in our community, Congresswoman Kathy Castor.
Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are here at Feeding Tampa Bay, and I just want to start out by saying thank you to Thomas and his entire team here at Feeding Tampa Bay. They are the go-to food bank for this dynamic 10-county region, a region that's really been through the ringer over the past years, whether it was coming out of the pandemic or 2 back-to-back hurricanes last year, and then this massive affordability squeeze. So Thomas, thank you. Thank you for lifting up our neighbors, always being here for them. And I want to say to all of the churches, mosques, synagogues across the Tampa Bay area, to all of our nonprofit partners, to neighbors looking out for neighbors. I watched what you did this weekend in response to the healthcare crisis and the food crisis. And you truly are inspiring to stand up for better, for your neighbors, to make sure that no one falls through the cracks. Because when Thomas says that these kind of affordability squeezes and crises really hit kids and our older neighbors and folks with a disability, we mean it. But this is now impacting everyone. And you're going to hear from my good friend and partner, County Commissioner Gwen Myers, and 2 of our neighbors who are going to make real for you what the healthcare crisis is doing to families across this community. Linda Meisner, my friend from Tampa, and Stephanie Swain, my friend from St. Petersburg. But let's talk about also what happened on Friday. After the Trump administration refused to tap a contingency fund, 2 federal judges announced on Friday that the Trump administration does need to provide the contingency funding to keep SNAP available for kids, the elderly, disabled, and families. This is vitally important because you heard what Thomas said. There's no substitute here at a food bank in Feeding Tampa Bay for the consistent available SNAP resources that go right into the hands of the families. Okay? Feeding Tampa Bay is not a substitute for SNAP. That's why that ruling was incredibly important to direct the Trump administration to distribute those funds. But what also needs to happen is folks need to come to the table in Washington, D.C. to negotiate. Because while SNAP impacts directly 3 million Floridians, the healthcare crisis impacts over 4 million Floridians. 4.7 million Floridians rely on the Affordable Care Act for their health coverage. 4 million of those receive the tax credit that make coverage affordable. And when coverage isn't affordable, people will drop their health insurance and end up at the ER or go without and be sicker, and that will impact all of us. It will impact what we pay for our health insurance. It will impact when you show up at the emergency department. It will show up in chronic diseases across the community. There is a better path forward, and that is folks in Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the President to come to the table to negotiate an end to the healthcare crisis and the food crisis now. This is the 45th day of a shutdown of the United States House of Representatives. I should be flying to Washington, D.C. this morning for committee meetings, negotiations, and votes. And never in my years of service have we seen a shutdown of the people's house because they refuse to negotiate a pathway forward. That's kind of un-American, not to negotiate and sit down and have that dialogue. We can do better. And when people's lives are at stake, when their pocketbooks are at stake, the least the politicians in Washington could do would be to sit down and have that dialogue and find a way out of this. If we can't find a way out of it, people will call on our local elected leaders in addition to our nonprofit community. And I'm grateful that we have an outspoken champion for the people in County Commissioner Gwen Myers. Commissioner, thank you for being here. You have guarded the Hillsborough Healthcare Plan for years. That's another important backstop. You've made sure that Feeding Tampa Bay is essential to the lives of our neighbors when they need it. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your remarks.
Good morning. Today is a day that we all could get involved. There are so many citizens of Hillsborough County that count on the SNAP, count on health care, and we are letting them down. What we have to do, we have to call all of our Congress representatives in the Senate and the House and say, come together, because my family can no longer survive this. 45 days is 45 days too many. And we look at our young children who wants food and pulling on mom coattail, and she has nothing to offer. Well, we're going to refer you to come to Hillsborough County, our Human Services Department, one of our social services agencies. Go there and ask for help. You cannot be afraid now to ask for help. And with health care, it's a part of our economy. We don't want anyone in Hillsborough County to go without health care. And with the plan that the Congress people are holding out to negotiate, the average citizen, these two individuals right here, they cannot afford another increase. It just can't happen. Their pocketbooks are already full, taking care of family, taking care of everything in the household. And we have to be very vigilant to help individuals today. We don't know who all they are, but we do know they represent our city, our county, and our nation. And we have to stand ready to help. That's why I commend Tom Mance with Feeding Tampa Bay to help. They stand ready every time something happens. I can remember when the first day came out, Tom was on some station, don't remember, out at the airport saying we ready to help the airport workers. Those who are experiencing challenging times, those times are with us right now, and we have to do something. Do something mean call. If you have the funding and you want to chip in and give your neighbors something, it is okay. Because today is us, tomorrow is someone else. But we're one Hillsborough County, and we take care of everyone in Hillsborough County. And I thank you for the opportunity to be here. And Congresswoman Kathy, thank you for all you do. Because your voice is very loud in Washington, representing your district, and it's very impactful to making sure, and this is why you're here today, because you want people to know you care. You care about what's happening in your district and how it's affecting the people that you represent. And I thank you and commend you, and keep up the good work. And thank you all so much.
Thank you, Commissioner
Saludos
Myers.
amigos de tampahoy.com. Estamos aquí viendo una conferencia de prensa en estos momentos en la que Feeding Tampa Bay junto a Katy Castor están ofreciendo detalles sobre la crisis que estamos enfrentando en estos momentos debido al SNAP, a las ayudas de alimenticias que desde el viernes pasado, muchas millones de familias en la nación se han visto afectados debido a que más de 42 millones de personas se han visto alejadas de los beneficios para llevar comida a las mesas de sus hogares. Más de 42 millones de personas dependen del SNAP y esto significa que el SNAP lleva comida a estos 42 millones de hogares, por lo cual ahora mismo estamos escuchando cómo las autoridades, como testimonios de personas en nuestra zona, en la Bahía de Tampa, se están viendo afectados por el cierre de gobierno y también por la falta de estos fondos en la ayuda de alimenticia. Vamos a escuchar a esta mujer que está hablando en estos
But we
momentos.
normally pay about $300 a month for this plan, and I got a notice from Florida Blue that our premium is going up over almost $3,000 a month. A month. Yes, a month. That is $40,000 a year for health care. Our new premium for 2026 will be $3,248.45. I have the notice from Florida Blue here. That's not even a rich plan. We have minimal benefits. We have a huge deductible. So on top of our $40,000 in premiums, we also have to pay for the deductible before we even get health care. But yes, this is still important. We can't afford $40,000. We own a small business. We do the best we can, but we can't afford $40,000 a year in just healthcare premiums. For the first time in our lives, we will go without health insurance. We will be part of the uninsured in Florida, which just blows my mind, honestly. And how is that acceptable? And
Aquí estamos escuchando como una líder está mencionando que la agencia a la que trabaja, la organización en la que trabaja, se está viendo afectada por los aumentos en las primas de seguro y esta va a ser la primera vez que su organización se va a ver afectada ya que no van a tener los beneficios de seguros y de Medicare.
Congresswoman Castor has done, and I urge her to continue fighting. Thank you.
Y terminó
Next
su
is Stephanie Swain, a small business owner
parlamento,
from St.
su
Petersburg, that kind of speaks
conversación
on behalf of a lot of small
pidiéndole
business
a
owners
todas
I'm
las
hearing
personas
from
que sigan
right now who
luchando
rely on
por
the
sus
Affordable Care Act
derechos
to
y
make sure that they
beneficios.
can keep their small business and stay healthy and well at the same time.
Thank you, Representative Castor. So as Representative Castor said, my name's Stephanie Swain. I own a small business in Seminole. We don't do a ton of business, but we do well enough to provide for myself and my husband and 3 other employees. I
Ahora
went
estamos
into
escuchando
Florida Blue
otro
to see what was gonna
testimonio
happen with my
de
healthcare next
otra
year. And while it's not nearly as significant as Linda's, I'm going to be
empresaria
paying
local.
$500 more a month for my husband and I, which is $6,000 a year. We're going to be able to find that somewhere if we don't go out to eat quite as much or we don't buy as many things from local stores, but that's $6,000 that's not going to be going into our local economy. We have many times looked to see if we would be able to provide health insurance for our employees, but the fact is it's just the cost of health insurance is so astronomical that we can't add multiple thousands of dollars to our payroll each month. And then even after that, they would still have to pay a few $100s to supplement that from their side. And many of them just can't do that with the cost of everything going up. So I mentioned as a small business owner, every few weeks, every week, we're getting emails from our suppliers telling us that we need to be on the lookout for a 10% increase in the costs of what we're buying. That's cardboard, styrofoam, paper, aluminum, almost everything that we use to make the equipment that we make has gone up in price. So we're either having to
Estamos
pass that on to our
justamente
customers
en
or
el
take home
inicio
less.
de mes, noviembre 3, y millones de estas familias se están viendo afectadas porque no tienen acceso a alimentos para llevar a su hogar. Muchas de las familias se prepararon con tiempo, pero hay muchas que también no pudieron hacerlo. Sin embargo, hay muchas de las organizaciones locales en la Bahía de Tampa que se han unido para poder brindar apoyo a estas familias que se están viendo afectadas por la necesidad de alimentos, la necesidad de llevar comida a la mesa de su hogar. Ahora voy a compartir con ustedes algunos de la información que tenemos de las organizaciones que están haciendo un movimiento, que también necesitan de la ayuda de las personas que tienen acceso a todo tipo de alimento o cualquier tipo de ayuda que puedan brindarles, ya que estas organizaciones sin fines de lucro se han estado organizando para poder brindar servicio a la comunidad necesitada. Y no es solamente personas que reciben el SNAP, hay muchas personas que están perdiendo sus beneficios debido a esto, ya que tienen que ayudar a sus familiares, tienen que ayudar y también están brindando servicio, ayuda a organizaciones como lo estamos pidiendo en estos momentos como medio de comunicación. Hay que unirnos para que todo el mundo pueda salir adelante de esta crisis de alimento que están ahora mismo nuestros líderes platicando en la mañana de hoy, como vemos a Katy Castor junto a las personas de Feeding Tampa Bay y también varios empresarios de pequeños negocios locales. Ready for Life es una organización sin fines de lucros que están entregando cubos de comida para 3 días, y esto es una de las ayudas que están brindando aquí localmente. Como les estaba mencionando que les iba a brindar información, estos cubos incluyen desayuno, almuerzo, también cena y refrigerios. También tienen códigos QR para familias que puedan encontrar ayudas cerca de los lugares donde viven. Es muy importante que las personas sepan que hay muchas ayudas localmente, pero que también tienen que saber que la ayuda que brinde Feeding Tampa Bay o que brinden alguna de estas organizaciones sin fines de lucros no son ayudas que suplementan o que van a hacer algún tipo de cambio eh, a la ayuda que recibes por parte del SNAP. Esto es simplemente una ayuda que están brindando estas organizaciones sin fines de lucro que también necesitan ayuda, como vuelvo a repetir. Así que cualquier persona que necesite ayuda por parte de Feeding Tampa Bay pueden buscar la información en tampahoy.com. También las personas que quieran brindar de su ayuda y apoyo a Feeding Tampa Bay lo pueden encontrar en tampahoy.com, pero aquí les voy a dar un número de teléfono y es el 727-954-3989, y este es el número de Ready for Life, que es esta organización que está brindándole cubos de alimentos a las familias necesitadas en nuestra zona. Pero como vuelvo a mencionar, también pueden buscar ayuda en distintos lugares, en distintas comunidades de distintos condados aquí en la Bahía de Tampa por parte de la gente de Feeding Tampa Bay y las diferentes organizaciones que se están uniendo para poder brindar apoyo. También bríndenle apoyos a estas organizaciones que se están uniendo, y si tienes tiempo para hacer voluntariado y poder brindar de tu tiempo para que estas organizaciones sigan creciendo y puedan crecer también sus bancos de comida y de ayuda, este es el momento. Es el momento de que nos debemos unir para que todas estas personas puedan recibir la ayuda que necesitan. Así que vamos a seguir escuchando un poquito de la conferencia de prensa. Mi nombre es José Ángel Acevedo y los voy a seguir manteniendo informados aquí en tampahoy.com.
Ugly bill and adjourned. If they had any intention of actually negotiating, they would have everyone back at work. And by the way, Congress people are getting paid right now. I've deferred my paycheck, but they're getting paid. And air traffic controllers are not getting paid. The folks who work Social Security, they're not getting paid. Congressional staff members aren't getting paid, but members of Congress are getting paid to stay away from their job. That's ridiculous, and it's making people very angry, and they simply want folks to come together and help solve problems rather than make their lives more difficult.
Linda?
Yeah.
I wonder if I could ask you a couple.
Sure.
Given the costs that you now actually face, you're going to have to come to places like Feeding Tampa Bay to get food and to make sure you're covered.
We will not need to utilize Feeding Tampa Bay for food, thankfully. But we will not be able to afford the health care. We don't have an extra $30,000 to pay $40,000 in premiums. We just don't. I'm gonna have to look for some sort of a safety net, possibly, where if we were in an awful accident or needed surgery, there would be something that would cover, but really that's the policy we have right now. It's a safety net policy. It has a huge deductible. It covers nothing until we meet that deductible. So I don't know what we're going to find that is even going to be remotely affordable. I don't see any other option for us but to go uninsured. So thankfully, we will not have to visit Feeding Tampa Bay, but if we chose to pay for the health insurance, yes, that could put us in that position. Yeah, I have it. Hold on one sec. And the deductible went up, by the way. Or no, I'm sorry, the max out of pocket went up. The deductible is, individual deductible is $6,650. Family deductible is $13,300. That's only in network. It doubles if it goes out of network. The max out of pocket is $14,800 for family, $30,000 out of network. Yeah. We own Body by Design. It's a personal training studio. We've been in business over 30 years. We work hard. And we also looked at whether or not we could afford to help our employees with health insurance. And again, we came up with the same thing. There's absolutely nothing affordable for a small business to offer their employees any insurance either. So we've encouraged our own employees to go out to the ACA, so they're going to get hit with something similar. We would most likely end up declaring bankruptcy. I mean, I really don't see any other options. It's terrifying. We have never been uninsured. We're responsible adults. We've raised 2 children. We have always had health insurance for our family, even when it's been expensive. So we have never gone uninsured in our life. I mean, we've looked at, do I need to take a job somewhere that offers benefits? And then how do I help my husband run the business? These are questions that don't have any easy answers. We have 5 employees. Thank you. And I have the Florida Blue notice. If anybody wants to see it.
Okay, thanks again, Thomas and the Feeding Tampa Bay family. Thank you all.
Thank you.